Yeah, I think, to get a 2-0 on the road was important for the team. To get our first win was important on the road as well. And I think more than anything, Neil, it was just about 3 points. That's all it comes down to. We talked prior to the game, teams that win championships, they don't tend to win them in that sort of August and May time when the sun's shining. They tend to win them, on those tough nights during the winter periods away at, Selhurst Park or Wimbledon or wherever. We've talked about these concepts coming into this tonight that was never going to be a pretty match for us, but it had to be disciplined. That team had massive threats, transitional threats, but we also knew that we could be really dangerous in the transition. And I thought that's where we were clinical tonight. We bent a little bit, but we didn't break. And that's the story, I think, of the identity of this team.
Thank you. Safe travel.
Thanks, Neil.
Derek, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, John, congratulations on the win, John. I just want to ask you about some of the performances that you had today. Tejan was all over the park. That goal by Jonathan David, world class, and then of course your goalkeeper made about 3 or 4 world class saves. Can you just first off talk about some of those individual class performances you had, and then just the collective as a whole, how big this win is for your team?
Yeah, I think, like you say, the mentality coming in tonight, we were going to have to fight for everything. We knew with their quality, there had to be a strong performance in the back, and we knew Milan would be called upon. We primed him in that conversation that he was going to have a big night because, with the form Lozano, Elise, and obviously the qualities of Kyoto and the way they lined up, it was always going to be a challenge. But at the same time, we knew we had our threats, and, watching Johnny on that transition and the goal that he scored, it was special. I think that's what this team is. It can balance it out. It can grind. It can defend. It can hit teams on the counter-attack. And on other days, it can play. And I think we are able to create the mentality that's required for the moment. And that mentality tonight was to make sure we came out of here, no matter what it took, with a win. And I think those boys committed to that.
Thanks, John. Congratulations.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue on with Peter Galindo and then Joshua Cloak, please.
Hi, John. Congratulations on the win, first and foremost. What did you make of the team's overall collective defensive effort? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, and more specifically, if you can, Scott Kennedy's performance.
Yeah, I thought the reality of this performance, when you look at Honduras at home, and I know you're a stats man, you'll know that they're a different team at home. Their XG is high, their total shots is always going to be high, but they've never really put Lozano, Elise and Kyoto on the same field together. We've never seen that sort of trio. And tonight you did it, and we knew it was coming. And from that perspective, we had to match that quality. That back five tonight, I thought, stood strong. They had some good moments, they had some good moments from flank areas. But the thing that they never did, which is what we've seen time and time again, is hurt us in that transitional moment. Their last 5 goals have almost been carbon copy with that one pass in behind to either Kyoto or Elise. And we never gave them that tonight. And that was the key. We said we would not give them that goal in transition. They'd have to really earn it tonight. So that was the starting point. I thought structurally, we had to just keep them in front. There were areas that we were willing to concede the ball, which we knew would open them up. And with our transitional threats with Lauren, David, Buchanan, and then Laria coming in, we knew Junior Hoylett that we had a real opportunity there with 5 quality players to capitalize on, what we've seen from them, which is a typically open shape when you allow them into your half. So I'll just say it from the boys, it was a real disciplined performance tonight. You don't come here and try and, play like Barcelona on a pitch like this in these environments
Hey, John, we see the goal. Hey, we see the goal from Jonathan, and that's what everybody's going to be talking about is the goal. What do you see behind the scenes that makes Jonathan so important to this team?
It's his effort, his work rate, his tactical discipline. If you watched them all night, he put that cover shadow on the centre midfielders. He was always in a position to deny those two centre midfielders, that switching opportunity, those switches that can damage you against teams like when they have, wide players like Kyoto or wide players like Elise. I just think he does the dirty work, and he's a top player in Europe, and to find that player to do the dirty work when they're coming into environments like this, that's not easy. So, I mean, I take my hat off to him. You'll see his running stats, they're right up there. But then he can produce that moment. And it was late. I mean, it was quite late in the game. He put a big shift in, and he's still there ready to, bring that. I've called him it before, that sort of ice man, just that ice in his veins in big moments.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Steve Milton from the Hamilton Spectator.
Hi, John. Kudos for tonight. You mentioned the pitch. Can I ask you to look forward a little bit? I realize you're still heading this game, but the pitch in Hamilton, completely different set of circumstances here. What are the challenges and benefits of that, or if there are any of either of that? You don't know much about this pitch. It's never been used in the cold.
Yeah, like I say, I think the important thing for us, Canadians have grown up on plastic pitches, many of them,
right, in
cold conditions. And, these boys, they expect that now. It's part of our DNA. It's part of this story, the journey. And then, I just feel like that Hamilton Stadium, it's going to feel tight and compact. I played England there with the women's team. I remember beating them 1-0, and it was a good atmosphere, like a real good energy in the stadium, and it felt tight. And we want the US to feel that. So, whether it's 12,000 in, I'm sure they're going to make that sound like 30,000. And, regardless of the pitch, Steve, this game against the US, it's a battle. It's two teams that are desperate for 3 points, and they'll do anything for it.